Good afternoon, and thank you for joining me on this primer for Leveraging National Community Planning Month. My name is Emily Pasi. I am the Outreach and Communications Manager here at the American Planning Association in our Washington, D.C. office. Today I'm going to take a few minutes to talk to you all about what Planning Month is, the resources that APA has made available to help planners, both non-members and members, use to help amplify their messages and celebrations during National Community Planning Month, and ways that you can both leverage the brand and some of the exciting things going on throughout the month of October to help non-planning audiences understand the value of planning. So to kick things off today, I just want to spend a couple of minutes talking about what National Community Planning Month is. So as I've referenced a couple times, Planning Month is an annual observance. It happens every October, and it's really the time to highlight the role of planning in creating the community places that our residents love most. It is an opportunity to really educate non-planning audiences about the role of planning in creating these community spaces. So when we say non-planning audiences, what is it that we actually mean? We are referencing elected officials at the local, state, and federal level. We are talking about the media, and we're also talking about the public. These are all groups that APA hopes to help connect the dots for during National Community Planning Month. Our goal, of course, through this program is to celebrate the great work of planners across the country, but then also, and most importantly, help those non-planning audiences, again, as elected officials, the media, and the public really understand what planning is and why it's of value to their community. Planning Month is also a time to draw the connection between the places residents love most and the planning stories behind them. So as planners, we all know that creating those places that we love most isn't always easy. It requires a lot of very deliberate planning, a lot of community conversations. But to folks who aren't so involved in the planning process, they might not have a clear understanding about that. And so October really represents a time when we can draw their attention to that fact and help them to understand what the planning process entails, but really also why their voice is so critically important to that entire process. Every year, APA creates a series of tools or resources that we go ahead and produce so that our members and also non-members, other planners out there who want to help tell their community's planning story in a really effective and strategic way during the month of October. This year is no different. We have once again created a Planning Month toolkit of sorts to help people elevate the value of planning and begin some of those conversations with the public, the media, and elected officials. Some of the resources a part of this year's Planning Month toolkit include the following pieces. New to the toolkit this year is a revised and fresh National Community Planning Month logo. It's a new look, and we hope you'll all be excited about it as we are. Inside the toolkit, you'll also find Great Places resources. So perhaps the most prominent way we kind of tell the planning story from a national perspective during National Community Planning Month is via the APA Great Places in America program. This year is a very exciting year for us because this is the 10th anniversary of Great Places America. And so Great Places very quickly is an announcement that's made to kick off National Community Planning Month every year, for the past 10 years rather. And it's really our most prominent way of explaining what the value of planning is to those non-planning audiences that we discussed a little bit earlier. To date, 260 Great Places have been named. There is a great place in every single state in the United States. And so these represent a really fantastic opportunity, especially on the 10-year anniversary of Great Places, to really help those elected officials who may have great places in their states or their home districts to really help them understand that these places that they know so well are actually the result of planning. So we have some great places, resources in there that we encourage you to take a look at. We also have some ads. We have a banner ad and a box ad. We encourage you to place these on your websites or use them in your electronic newsletters as ways to spread the word that Planning Month is coming up. Also in the toolkit, you'll find some media tools. For example, we have key messages that we hope will help kind of shape your story as you're thinking about reaching out to various media outlets, but also to elected officials. These are great for forming the basis of op-eds or letters to the editor. We also actually have a template letter to the editor. This can be customized to meet the needs of your own community and to personalize and tell that community planning story. But it's all ready to go. So it requires very little work for you to kind of just plug that in and then pitch it out to your local media outlets. Do always keep in mind with the letter to the editor template that there is a specific word count, and every word count for every publication is different. So be sure to do your prep work before you submit your letter to the editor. It'll increase the likelihood that you get it placed in a community outlet. We also have some Twitter and Facebook cover photos in this year's toolkit. So this is a new piece that we're really excited about. We're asking you to, during the month of October, change your cover photos. The cover photos for folks who don't spend quite as much time on social media are those bigger banners at the very top of your either Twitter account or your Facebook profile page. We have a couple of different options that we recommend you check out, and feel free to switch out and use through all of October. Also in the social media zone, we do have an Instagram stream photo that we encourage you to share during October. Now, all of these social media pieces include the new Planning Month logo as well as our hashtag Planning Month. We do encourage you to make use of that hashtag in all of your posts and in all of your tweets throughout National Community Planning Month. We do have a second hashtag as well that's included in the Planning Month toolkit, and that's hashtag APA Great Places. So you use this one anytime you're talking about great places in America. The final piece of the Planning Month toolkit is a sample proclamation. So this has been a long-standing piece of the toolkit. We find that it's very popular and kind of a low-hanging fruit for folks who really want to engage their elected officials in the Planning Month conversation. So what this is, it's a template that's ready to go. It's customizable. All you have to do is spend a couple of minutes filling in the blanks that we've highlighted throughout the proclamation. Once you do that, it's ready to share with your elected official, and we do encourage you to encourage those elected officials. Again, this can be at the local, it can be at the city council or alderman level. It could be at the federal level with your senators or representatives. It could also be at the state level to encourage these folks to think about proclaiming October as National Community Planning Month. It's a fun and easy way to engage that elected official audience in the process. So all of these tools are available online at planning.org. On the webinar here, you will see the exact URL. We encourage you all to make use of it and spend some time playing around with each resource to figure out what makes most sense for your community. So one thing we're always very interested here at APA is figuring out how exactly it is that planners across the country are celebrating National Community Planning Month and how they're really leveraging the brand and the observation. This year, we will be spending some time tracking how planners are doing just that. So if you are at home in your community and thinking about how you plan to really raise awareness for the planning profession and the roles that planners play in creating these strong, more inclusive communities, I ask you to think about a couple things and to share that information with us. First, think about the type of event or the kind of outreach that you would like to conduct during October. Once you have a plan in place, don't be afraid to let APA know. The Planning Month team here is very excited to help elevate your stories during October. We can't do that unless you let us know about any really great community success stories that highlight how planners are integral in creating these places that we love most. So we are relying on you to either share this information with us via social media or to email us directly and just let us know. We'd also be interested in knowing when and where an event or a certain kind of outreach might be happening. If you're sending a proclamation to elected officials, let us know. Maybe we can help kind of push that process along. Finally, we want to understand how we can be helpful from a national APA perspective. If there's an opportunity for us to follow up with an organization that we might have a relationship at the national level, great. We want to know that. We want to be as supportive as we can throughout this entire process, and most importantly, we want to amplify your success stories. That's most important to us. There are a tremendous amount of activities that took place in 2016. It was a very robust year for National Community Planning Month and engagement across the board in a number of ways. If you're looking for a little bit of inspiration about things that you might be able to do, I recommend checking out the link that we provide here on the slide. Check out our Planning Month story map powered by Esri. It's a great kind of archive of all the things that happened in 2016. And these are all really wonderful examples of things that could be repeated again in 2017 to amplify our planning stories. I want to give you a quick couple examples from that Planning Month story map. Of course, highlighted on the story map are our Great Places celebrations. So as a 10-year anniversary of Great Places, if you have a great place in your community, or it could be, of course, it's a street, a neighborhood, or a public space that's been recognized at some point over the last 10 years, think about how you can leverage both the brand of Great Places and also that community space and any ongoing events. You might be surprised that a lot of times, you know, in some of these places there are major events that occur maybe even on a monthly basis. How can your planning department or your firm kind of tap into some of those pre-scheduled events? How can you piggyback off of them? Is there an opportunity to host a walking tour or a biking tour during the community event through that space to really play up the planning behind the place? Is there an opportunity to potentially host an information booth during a community event that talks about maybe the planning story of the place where the event's taking place, but then also some of the ongoing efforts underway to further strengthen this community space. Of course, another excellent way to celebrate National Community Planning Month is by hosting some kind of open house at your planning department. This has been really popular over the years, and it's done a really nice job of bringing people to planners and helping them engage in the space that they work in every day. And another easy way to engage in National Community Planning Month is to get out there and change your cover photos, your profile pictures during National Community Planning Month to let both your colleagues but also your personal network of contacts on social media know that October is a very important time for the planning profession. And do be sure to always watch APA's communications channels. Of course, we are on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. Feel free to reshare, repost, or retweet anything that we've shared related to Planning Month. It's an easy way for you to expand the reach of our messages and help others in your network understand what planning is all about. Of course, if you have any questions at all about ways that you can potentially celebrate National Community Planning Month in your community, or you just want to maybe brainstorm an idea or two with the Planning Month team here at APA, we would love to hear from you. Please feel free to reach out to the email on the screen in front of you. That's ncpm@planning.org. We would love to have that conversation with you. We are so looking forward to celebrate National Community Planning Month 2017 with planners across the country. We are even more excited to help those non-planning audiences really find out why planning is so important to their communities. Looking forward to working with you all. Thank you.